When I lived in Singapore, Dubai would often come up. People would compare the two, and they would tell me things about Dubai, about the shopping malls and the millionaire pandering and the Instagram hashtaggy, you look at me kind of crap. And Dubai was in my top 10 places I never want to go in my life. Fuck that place. It sounds awful. Sounds like everything I hate in one place. You couldn't pay me to go there. But then I have to notice that feeling in myself. And this is going to be, we'll get to like the theme when we're done with this number 5. But I had a flight from New Zealand to Europe that it changed planes in Dubai. And I looked at that and I went, ugh, Dubai. And I was like, wait a second. What is this prejudice in me against Dubai? It's like saying, I hate artichokes, but I've never tried artichokes, right? Like, I hate Dubai, but I've never been to Dubai. Maybe I should go to Dubai. So instead of making it a 3-hour layover, I made it like a 3 or 4 day layover. I went, wow, okay, I'm going to Dubai for a few days. So I read a book called City of Gold, which was about the founding of Dubai and the creation of Dubai. And dude, it was so good. It is such a great book. Anybody listening to this, if you want a great read the book City of Gold about the history of Dubai. It is inspiring, the wisdom and the foresight and the boldness it took to make that place happen. It was really just like a vision that saw its way through to the end against all odds, right? So super inspiring. Then somebody said, oh, you need to read Arabian Sands by this man named Thesiger. And that gets into like the Arab Bedou culture. It was written in the 1940s or 50s, kind of like a Lawrence of Arabia kind of guy, like from England, but went through the desert and kind of became one with the Bedou people and got to know the culture and wrote about it. So that was really inspiring. And then the United Arab Emirates itself, as I learned more about, so Dubai, is a city and a region inside the United Arab Emirates. It's one of the 7 states, the Emirates in that country. And then, so Sheikh Zayed, the guy that was really like the father of the nation, was a really great dude. Kind of like when I moved to Singapore and I learned more about Lee Kuan Yew and started to really admire the decisions he made, it became a bit of a role model. Like learning about him like makes me want to be a better person. I just noticed that it actually subtly influences my actions. And so when I'm in Singapore, I feel like a little bit infused with the role model. Like I feel the presence of the role model of Lee Kuan Yew. And when I'm in UAE, I feel a little bit inspired by Sheikh Zayed because he was just such a great, generous dude. So, and also I think it's interesting that Arab culture gets a really bad rap in the media. Like Hollywood portrayal is usually some white actor with brown makeup being stupid saying, oh, I like this building. I'll buy 10 of them. I think I want a penguin colony in the desert, make it happen. And they're kind of portrayed as fools that are too rich. And so getting to know the culture felt like, this is really interesting. I really had the wrong idea about this culture. Okay, so as I read these books, City of Gold and Arabian Sands, I have a thing on my website where I always show what I'm reading and I take notes from the books and I put the notes on my website. And a friend of mine that lives in Muscat, Oman, saw my reading list and he said, what is your interest in this region? I've noticed you're reading books about the Middle East. And I told him I'm just really interested in Arab culture. And he said, you must meet the man from Tamashi. And I said, what? And he goes, go to tamashi.com, TAMASHEE.com. And he said, you will see a shoe store. His name is Mohammed Kazim. He designs sandals, but underneath the surface, he's an educator of Arab culture. So the sandals are just like the storefront, but underneath it,
it's like the pirate shop in San Francisco for...
Oh, I haven't heard this.
Oh, there is a place in San Francisco. It's on Valencia Street, and it is used for now educating kids, writing workshops, things like that. But because they couldn't get it zoned in San Francisco, they couldn't get permission for what they actually wanted to do. They had to create a storefront and then do the teaching in the back. And so they created a pirate attire store, and all of the classrooms are in the back. So
love it.
That was a bit of a digression, especially because I can't even recall the proper name of the sort of writing outlet that is associated with this. But Tamashi, shoe store, sandal store on the front end, but it's actually education in disguise.
At first I thought there was no connection. Then I realized that his sandal designs are actually kind of reflecting Arab traditions and culture through the design of the sandals. But it's like his true passion are these cultural trips he does. So if you go to tamashi.com and you go in the menu, you can click cultural trips and then you'll see. So my friend introduced me to this guy. So I met with him on my trip to Dubai. We meet by the creek and he tells me that his grandfather built the first building in Dubai. That was his grandfather. That's how young that city is. And he's just like, yeah, right, basically right over there. There was a very first building in Dubai. My grandfather is the one that built it. So I said, can you explain to me something about Arab culture? And he said, well, wait, first you got to understand that the culture of the people of the desert is very different than the people of the sea, like the Arabian coast, and which is very different than the people of the hills. And I said, okay, well, where's your family from? And he said, well, from the desert. But he said, but two uncles got in a fight, and so kind of half the family moved off to Iraq for a while, and there was kind of like a split in the family, but then they kind of reunited in Abu Dhabi. And he said, but then Islam came along. And I said, wait, hold on. Islam, that was like the year 600. I said, have you been telling me your family history from 2,000 years ago? And he goes, well, 1,800 years ago, yeah. I said, wait, how the fuck do you know your family history back 1,800 years? And he said, well, we keep good records. Whoa. Imagine what that does to how you see your life. If you see yourself in this long lineage of 1,800 years of recorded family history, like how that affects your dating and whatever choices on where to live. So Mohammed Kazan, this guy is a badass. I love this guy. He's such a wealth of information and he communicates it so well. It really helps, by the way, that he's got a complete American accent. He went to college in Boston for 6 years, got into finance, came back, worked in finance in Abu Dhabi, and then just said, no, my real passion is teaching the Arab cultural traditions that I think have gotten lost in our modern skyscrapers. So that's why he made it his passion project. He could have made way more money in finance, but he has his tamashi.com sandal store and he teaches Arab culture. And I admire the hell out of this guy.